Anup Ghosh is the CEO of Invincea, which specializes in browser and document protection. He joins us from our Washington bureau. Anup, do you agree with the comments today from Leon Panetta?
I do, but we've been waiting for this Pearl Harbor cyber scenario for 10 years. And the reality is during that time, we've been getting killed by death of 1,000 cuts. And how many more events do we have to see before we decide to take action here? I think what you saw today with Citigroup, what you saw last week with Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, you're seeing a systematic theft of the nation going on.
Well, you may have heard those comments that we ran from the president of Akamai saying companies need to be spending more. If we've been waiting for such an attack, then why aren't companies spending more?
Well, everyone thinks that it's going to be someone else. And everyone thinks that, oh, that's Citigroup today, it's not me. The reality is it's no longer a question of, am I going to get hacked? Everyone is getting hacked. What we're seeing here is wild and indiscriminate cyber looting because our defenses are open to these types of attacks.
All right, let's bring our editor-at-large, Cory Johnson, into the conversation. Cory standing by in our newsroom. Cory.
Yeah, John, Anup, let me ask you about this. When we talk to people in the cybersecurity business, I wonder sometimes if it's like asking a barber if you need a haircut. Obviously, you think the spending should increase, but specifically when you look at what the government's doing, what is the government not doing to protect businesses, be they large businesses like Google or smaller businesses that are trying to understand the role of technology in their world?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the government's role to protect the private businesses. Think of it this way. If you're a pharmaceutical company and you're spending billions of dollars in developing next-generation drugs, why wouldn't you spend, the appropriate amount of money to protect those secrets? Same thing for the Lockheed Martins of the world. How many billions of dollars are being spent on next-generation weapons platforms?
Yeah, there was a time with the NSA when the NSA got into trouble, some of it exposed right here in San Francisco, about essentially spying on domestic business, looking at domestic emails, sometimes without warrants. When you see the potential Secretary of Defense talking about cyber crime, is there a problem there in that the Defense Department is not allowed, in fact, to be involved in domestic operations, be they cyber or otherwise?
Well, that's true. Cybercrime is the vast majority of what we're seeing out there. A lot of this crime originates from Eastern Europe and is directed at financial services firms. It's also directed at individual consumers. If you look at what happened with the Epsilon breach a few weeks ago, millions of personal contact information details were leaked. Just about everyone we knew was affected by that. If you look at what happened at Citi today, personal account information, again, leaked. All of this information ends up being targets for spear phishing and other types of attacks to compromise machines, ultimately to make someone money.
Anup, if you're a company out there that has not been spending a lot, that now gets it, okay, I have to spend, the bigger question is, can they catch up? What do you think?
Well, I think absolutely. If you look at what the security industry has been doing for the last 15 years, we're still using technology today to defend our networks with technology developed in the mid to late 90s. In other words, we're fighting the current war with tools built from the last century. So what can we do to catch up? Well, we need to radically change. We need to re-engineer security from the ground up. So we're focused on prevention. One federal chief information security officer described it to me this way. He said, we're in the firefight, we're fighting the cyber criminals on our networks every day. What we need to begin to do is set fire breaks. And that's essential where we need to be moving forward in security. We need to set fire breaks to allow cyber criminals into an area where users are using their browser, for instance, in a virtual environment, but they can't get outside that environment. We need to separate user behavior with their browsers and their email clients from the critical data that is on those corporate networks.
Anup, at the end of the day, how do you really know if you're protected? Because I'm sure there are a lot of companies out there that do feel like they've got secure networks.
Well, the way security technology works today, just about every security tool out there needs to know the threat in order to detect it. The problem is just about every attack has a unique signature for that target. And so it's extremely difficult now for anyone to know if they're infected because every attack is unique. So the short answer is people don't know today when they're compromised. They don't know until weeks later when these signatures finally get out there, and now they're catching up, and now they're finding out they've been compromised. So again, we need to change the paradigm here from reactive security to proactive security, to setting these fire breaks, to containing these attackers into areas where they can't breach those fire breaks.
All right, Anup, thanks for your perspective. Anup Ghosh from Invincea joining us from Washington.